Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Soulful Conversations. I am your host, Sharika Matthews, life coach and creator of Feminine Success Mastery.
Hi, and I am your host as well. And I'm Kim Mason, Executive Director of Women Cultivating Greatness.
And today we want to talk to you about New Year's resolutions, goals, and all that jazz because this is what we're all talking about right now, right? It is January 7th. We're 7 days to the new year. And I don't know about you, Kim, but at first I was resistant to making New Year's resolutions and goals because it feels so cliche.
Yeah, I can understand that. And the thing about it, I was reading an article that they said that by January 15th, most people have put their resolutions aside. And then I think I kind of did more about doing goals rather than resolutions because when you fall off that diet or don't go to the gym 4 times a week or whatever, you just kind of feel defeated. And with the
Yeah.
goals, you can say, well, I'll have this goal for 3 months. So it doesn't feel like it's as much pressure, like
Yeah.
you feel pressured like when you set resolutions or not really or
Yeah, well, I don't really do resolutions. I'm kind of like you. I set goals, but the what I see happen a lot of time is that when we set resolutions to do things starting January 1st or the first week of January or the first Monday of January, we get into this mindset of the way that we are now is not good enough. And we have to do something different, which means now we're in the mindset of judging ourselves. We're in the mindset of finding all of our flaws instead of goal setting. To me, says I'm becoming a better version of myself. I'm not judging where I am now, but I'm becoming a better version of myself. So I'm kind of like you in that regards.
and that's what it's all about because everything that we've gone through with this pandemic and all of that, they said that emotional instability and depression and all of those things are up. So the last thing that we want to do is cause something that's going to make us feel worse. And I know that I kind of have to slow down because, I'm like, oh, I didn't get this done this week. I didn't get this done. And instead of looking at what you didn't do, try to look at the things that you did do. Even if it
Yeah.
means like I was able to connect this week with my godmother and I hadn't talked to her for several months. And
Mhm.
I was like, wow, that was such a great, powerful conversation. And I'm just kind of like, I guess what I'm trying to say is just allow yourself some grace, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. And you remind me because, as you're scrolling through social media, you see different coaches online, different experts online who tell you how to create better goals, how to achieve your goals, how to make better resolutions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But the one thing that really stuck out to me, and it's something that I've been applying to my life for probably a little bit of it, over a year or so, is instead of attaching yourself to the goals, get clear on how you want to feel. Because
Yeah.
even with goal setting can be daunting as well. And it can be discouraging, especially if you're not achieving the goals you set out for yourself in the amount of time you want to. And that's
Right.
really true for entrepreneurs, true for high achieving women, true for everybody who are go-getters and they want to lose the weight. They want to start the business. They want to publish the book. They want to do all these charity events, and you want to do it in 90 days. You want to do it in 6 months, but it really may take you a year or two to actually do those things. And so now you're judging yourself, you're beating yourself up, and you begin to question, should I really be doing this? But
Right.
instead, focus on how do you want to feel when you achieve these goals, because oftentimes you'll find that you'll achieve the feeling of the thing that you want to accomplish before you accomplish the thing.
That's
So
right.
for example, like one of the goals, I had some goals, and I would probably call them tasks at this point, some tasks I wanted to complete in order to move towards my goal. And so I completed one of my tasks this past week, and I felt really good. I felt really proud of myself. And because I recognized how I felt, and I was like, oh, this is how I'll feel when I actually achieve my end goal, it burned it in my brain. And I began to remember, this is how it feels. I'm doing something. Did I do it in the amount of time I wanted to? No, but I did it, and I felt good about it. I didn't beat myself up by not doing it in the amount of time, because I honored who I am. So that's what I like about that.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you and I actually spoke about this before. Um, I think it's Lisa Nichols that coined the phrase, is to make sure that you monitor your mini wins.
Yes.
We discussed that, because even if you other people may say, oh, well, you didn't go to the gym today, but yes, I did do a 15-minute video. So it's
Yeah.
like something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I know that with me having that absolute way of thinking and way of being, oh, if I don't do all of this in one day, then you feel bad about it, and that's not good, so recognizing the micro wins
Yeah.
or the mini wins
Recognizing
is important.
recognizing the micro wins. Can't say that 5 times real fast.
Yeah, really. And
Micro wins.
celebrating them.
And I was just about to say, celebrate it. Like, take a moment to pause and do a happy dance, or do something to reward yourself for achieving that particular win, for achieving the feeling that you achieved. Because let me tell you, I saw this quote. God, it had to be like a couple of months ago now, and I loved it. And it said, "We have become conditioned to become chronic achievers."
Mm. Wow.
We get so
Wow.
in the mode of doing things, and achieving things, one thing after another. We may feel good about it, but the feeling goes so fast that we don't really recognize that we're almost like a locomotive machine, just chugging and chugging and
Yeah.
chugging
And
along,
then you're off to the next thing.
off to the next thing, and you become a chronic achiever or a chronic overachiever, always doing things, but never taking the time to rest, never taking the time to relax. And I'm seeing this movement now on social media about living the soft life. And part of living that soft life is taking the time to play as hard as you work, meaning
Right.
celebrating the wins, celebrating yourself, rewarding yourself for the small wins being done, taking the time to document it. Like you and I was talking, was it this week or last week, about how I wanted to redo my journal. And the journal that I have, it has a section in that journal for you to record your miracles and answered prayers. Record, I call it your success receipts. So
That's
that's where
good.
you write down all of your successes so you don't forget.
That's
Otherwise, we become chronic achievers, and that's
right.
boring.
And that's also why I believe the self-care movement has become so big. Everyone's talking about self-care. And, the fact that I'm a mental health coach and that I really understand the mental health, which kind of leads to why I have Women Cultivating Greatness, because you struggle with accepting who you are when you don't learn the way other people learn, or you miss things and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
the self-care is very important, and making sure that you have a list with you of self-care things you can
That's
do.
good.
One thing that a coach told me that I just thought was really invaluable, she said, when you're wrapping up from work, you get off work at 5 o'clock, really stop at 4:30 to take a breath, to take a breather, to understand what you got done in your business or on your job, and then take just a few minutes to plan for the next day. And I know I've been one of those people where I rush all the way to the end of time, the time, and then I'm looking up and it's 5 minutes after 5. I got to get out of here. And it just puts you in a bad headspace, especially when you
Yeah.
have to drive home or try to shift if you work from home to start taking care of your family. You have to
Yeah.
have a break.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And you brought up something about the self care, and I saw something again. I want to get your opinion on this, Kim. It says that most of the things that we consider as self care is really aftercare.
So what's the definition of aftercare? This is interesting.
I know, right? So, from
Yeah.
what I can gather, is aftercare is what we do as a response to a stressful situation or as a last resort to something. Self
Oh,
care is something that's built into your routine, like brushing your teeth.
right. Or kind of like what a coach told me is taking a 30-minute cool down, before you go to the next task. Because women are some powerful people and we do a
Girl,
lot. And
yes.
I don't even know. I don't even know how we do some of the things that we do. And there are people that I admire. And that's another thing, is that you really have to protect your heart and mind, because social media could have you messed up because you're thinking,
Girl,
oh,
yes.
she's doing that. She's gotten 4 grants and I'm slipping. I'm not doing anything. I might as well be
Girl,
sleeping.
let me
And
tell
that
you, that
is
devil is
really,
bad. Oh,
yes, yes. And you just have to make sure that you're prayed up. And also, I started taking breaks from social media. So I don't get on social media on Sundays.
yeah.
And if I do, it's briefly, and I may allow myself 5 minutes if something has come across that I really need to pay attention to. But other than that, I try not to even log in. You have to.
And
You have
another trick I've learned with social media is to opt out of certain ads. So one thing I don't like about this time of year is that you see a whole lot of ads about losing weight and about back fat and about getting a bigger butt and like all these things that's geared towards women and our bodies. And I hate that. I
Yep.
absolutely hate it. So
Those garments that cut off your circulation, not this $200 garment that's gonna snatch you a waist or
right,
whatever. And then you
right.
walking around feeling like you're about to pass out because you can't breathe.
Right, girl, no. So I know on Facebook when you see an ad you can select I don't want to see this ad anymore, and I know for business owners, you know is I kind of feel bad saying this because as a business owner I have used Facebook ads before to reach my target audience. I as a consumer just don't want to see those ads because I think those ads are harmful to our mental health and to our self-image. Because
Yeah.
since the day I was born, I feel like I've always seen ads, whether in magazine, radio, or TV, that's aimed at women's bodies. And now that we're more on social media than what we were ever before, we're constantly bombarded with that kind of stuff. So in addition to taking social media breaks, I actually curate the type of ads I want to see because I
Well,
don't
thanks
want
for
people to,
telling me.
yeah, I think you could do it on, I think you can do it on Instagram too, if I'm not mistaken. But I definitely do it on Facebook because there's some things I just don't want to see. And that's to protect my mental and my emotional health and to protect my self-image. Because like you said, social media, that comparison double that pops up. And even if you're the most confident person in the world, let me tell you, you scroll on social media long enough, you're going to be questioning your body. You'll be questioning your ability. You'll be questioning your talent. You'll be questioning if I'm doing enough. You'll be questioning all kinds of things about you if you're on social media long enough. So that's why, even for both of us, we're business owners, right? We have to curate what we take in visually so that we can, so that we can keep our minds right.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Wow, I am really enjoying this conversation. Well, and we've been friends for so long. This comes easy to us. Something that you also shared with me that I take with me all the time, that people are attracted to people who have the same core values. And that is so true. And I actually teach that in one of my classes, that if you're constantly around people that aren't feeding your spirit, where you don't have this kind of like the same, you don't have to have the same thoughts, but just the same values, the same integrity, all of that is very important. And now I just kind of pick up on it like second nature, whether I'm going to allow this person into my personal life, into my circle. And that's real. That's real.
And that is something we should probably talk about a little bit more in depth, is finding the right circle of people to have around you. Because something that I'm a member of several groups on Facebook, and I've seen this question come up a lot, or this comment come up a lot, about how hard it is for adult women to find other adult friends who are on their level.
Wow.
And that's a conversation I know you and I can have, because we became friends as an adult. We were very mature in our age and where we were in life, and we maintained that friendship. But how do you do that? Because I know for a lot of people, if you went to college right out of high school, you created some lasting friendships in college. But some people didn't go to college, or those friendships they had in college kind of fell by the wayside. So how do you determine what type of people to have around you and use your discernment to make sure you have the right people there? So that's another conversation for another day. That'll be good.
Yes. So I think we're going to wrap up this segment.
Yes.
But, Sharika has already told you what the next topic may be. So we have a lot to discuss, and we're looking forward to sharing our thoughts with you again. So any final words, Sharika?
No, I thank you for this conversation. I thank you for your friendship, of course. And to the audience, I just want to encourage you to take what we've said here today, eat the meat and spit out the bones. It's something someone else told me once before. So take what's good and useful for you and apply it to your life. If something doesn't apply to you, don't use it. Eat the meat, spit out the bones, and go forth and live your best life possible. So until next time, you guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.